Gordon's breath had been growing very shallow since the moment her name had been mentioned, and his mouth was dry and clacky. But he knew that to take another drink of water would be to lose a psychological battle. He met the girl's gaze, and she slowly dropped her eyes to her lap. "Now then," Alloway was looking at a letter on the table in front of him, "you say that you have information vital to the interests of this company. Perhaps you would be good enough to tell us who you are, and what information it is that you have for us." "I am the Princess Mbinda of the Ankoja," she began. "We are a people of the hills. My father Bugoli was their king." As she talked, and Susie's pencil raced along her pad, Gordon was transported in his mind back to East Africa. He had been forced to go there because a shipment of futures on which he had invested the last of Hilary's money had been delayed, as he thought, in port. In fact, the beans were in store somewhere, close to rotting. It had been his fault. Some piece of paperwork 8 months before had not been sent from London, typical of his luck. It had been sorted out at last at great extra cost, and he had met a man in a bar who had told him about the Ankoza. "They grew the plantation themselves from scratch. It's just coming into maturity now. Some Robusta, but Arabica mostly. Top-quality peaberries, too. Good high air, but they don't know shit about selling coffee. They take it to market, would you believe? Waste of damn good growing country. I'm trying to get my people to take an interest." Well, Gordon had found them first and charmed Bugoli, their chief, into agreeing to accept him as their exclusive buyer for the produce of their soft, lilac-coloured mountains. He had hurried back to civilization to sell his original consignment at a thundering loss, and used the cash to set up his own brokerage and to hire lawyers to hammer Bugoli's agreement into an ironclad contract. He duly obtained Bugoli's signature, and word got about that there was a new player in town. A fortnight after he had registered his brokerage, a man from the government came to see Gordon. "Dear me, it cannot be that you are going into business with the Ankoja. But everybody knows how corrupt they are. They will cheat you and rob you. My people, on the other hand, the Kobali people, thoroughly reliable. How much easier to deal with them. The government is entirely Kobali. How much more quickly your coffee will go through port. How much more efficiently it will be handled if you deal only with Kobali. Trading with the Ankoza, it is doubtful that a single bean would reach the warehouses. No, my friend, much better deal with us." "What's this? The contract is not with the Ankoza. It is with the land. My dear fellow, this makes it so simple. The Ankoza do not own this land. No, I assure you they do not. I tell you what we shall do. We shall compensate you for all this extra work. £100,000 English sterling, and we shall help you to remove those scoundrel Ankoza from the land they are illegally occupying." Not his fault. Not his fault. It was the man in the bar. Someone would have got there if Gordon hadn't. It was inevitable. The Ankoza were always going to be kicked out. Not his fault. But Mbinda. The moment he had seen her, he had wanted her. He had asked that she be kept behind. She had wept inconsolably as her father and his family had been loaded onto lorries like potatoes and driven down the hill. It was not rape, though. If she said that it was rape, she was lying. She had been, if not compliant, certainly not non-compliant. She had been nothing, a lifeless doll. Her word against his, that was the point. His word against hers. For the time being, it was important to look surprised, outraged at everything she said, as if each fresh accusation came as a shock. He was somehow upset by the presence of Susie in the room. She had never once looked up, but her pencil had never stopped moving, and her lips moved imperceptibly as she scribbled. The whole story was down there in Pitman hieroglyphs, and later today she would type it up into minutes. Gordon wanted to wrench the pad from her and rip it to pieces.